came to school, I felt a little bit scared and a little bit lonely because I didn't have enough friends. I only had one, and a little bit frightened. Like I was going to get bullied loads of times.
She makes me kind of see life in a different way, because you might think all is going well, but basically it might not be. So you have to like try help her to the best of your ability. And I do help. I think I do help a lot.
We're a very large school, 1,400 girls, and I've always been concerned that we do our best to make sure that every one of them settles in well into school. But as a girls' school, we sometimes do have what I call isolation bullying, and particularly when friendship groups between primary school and secondary school may become a little disrupted as new friendship groups are established. The fear I have is that one or two children do become isolated, and so peer mentoring seems to be a really valuable way of helping these children to develop the confidence really to go on to be really successful learners.
We embarked on the peer mentoring programme as part of our anti-bullying policy. It was to enable children to develop their own strategies in combating bullying and also to provide a long-term solution to bullying. So the project was something that we started last September, and it's been a long process, but something that we've really felt has been in some ways quite successful, but in other ways quite a challenge.
It's different from primary. It's more like homeworks to do.
Yeah.
You used to go my primary, didn't you? So,
Yeah.
you know.
Do you still keep in touch with teachers from primary?
Yeah, I went to see the teachers last week.
We have 20 mentees and 20 mentors. We picked the mentees for various reasons, mainly about the difficulty and their vulnerability about transfer to high school. We looked at children with real significant learning difficulties who struggle in the first 6 weeks at high school. And also, we also picked those children who, for behavioural reasons, would struggle as well, who had difficulty maintaining adult and peer relationships.
Just go to your teachers and tell them, oh, I don't understand this, and they will explain to you.
Okay.
So are you enjoying the school?
It's good, really.
What, do you do any activities after school?
Within the mentoring relationship, they need to build that trust in order to say what's on their mind, or what they're struggling with, or what's their problems at home. And if they don't have that one-to-one contact to build that rapport, to build that relationship, then there's going to be no trust.
The mentors and mentees both filled in likes and dislikes, and I matched them up from there. The purpose of that was to sort of try and get them talking and initiating discussions so that in the first few weeks they felt they had something in common before they had got enough of a relationship together to start talking about the nitty-gritty of being in a high school.
I think I've been well matched with Selma because we enjoy the same subjects, and we've got the same hobbies, so we enjoy like stuff like football and art and stuff. So we can talk about stuff like that, and then it makes the meetings more interesting and more like she enjoys it and I enjoy it as well. So it's not something that she'll get bored of. I think she enjoys coming to the meetings and stuff.
I'm really happy to have a peer mentor because that's what I was looking for, to help me, to look after me, to see me, to like me, everything.
She struggles with reading because she's come from Palestine 2-3 years ago, and she finds it hard to fit in with people and to make friends, and she's finding it hard to learn language and stuff. So I help her with reading, in English reading, so I can help her with her homework and stuff. And she kind of struggles a bit with maths, but she kind of enjoys it as well, so I help her with her maths, homework and stuff. And she really appreciates that as well.
I'm not worrying about everything anymore.
Initially, I was very much focused on the confidentiality and the importance of children having their own space when being mentored. And therefore, we had decided to have a separate room where there was just 2 chairs, etc., on their own. And it was to be a rolling programme. Week 1 would be in a timetable slot, week 2 would be in their break times. I was so focused on it being confidential that I actually forgot about the value of what was going on in those sessions, and I wasn't able to monitor. That was where that sort of fell down. I got an idea, not a new idea by any accounts, but one that worked for us, and that was to use a large, lovely room where I was able to spread the mentors and mentees out enough so that they could have individual confidential discussions, and yet I could stand there and monitor what was happening. I could stand there and be that person who mentors could come to and say, I can't deal with this one. Could you help me out? Could you give me more advice? I was also the one who was encouraging and saying, wow, well done, you've come on time, I'm really chuffed. And that little bit of encouragement was the thing that actually got them there the next time.
And was that because you can't do the homework, or is that because you just forgot it?
Like the first one was because I didn't know what to do, and the second one, I forgot to colour it in.
Right.
So.
But you'd normally ask for advice, wouldn't you, next time? That's a good thing. The other big important part of that was because they were all together, they could see themselves as a real collective, that they saw mentors were a family, and the mentees were families, and these were people who under other circumstances would never have met, would never have become friends.
Peer mentoring was difficult in the first year because we couldn't get out of lessons because it was GCSE year, and teachers weren't happy with us going out, and my mentee wasn't always in class, and I couldn't always get her out, and we didn't have a really good relationship last year because of that. But now that we've done it in form times aren't as important as lesson times, and we always I pick her up and then we go into the library and have a nice chat.
We meet every Tuesday morning. She will come and pick me up, and we'll go to the library and we'll talk about any problems we've got. And we meet, say when we see each other, we just say hiya.
Confidentiality is a main thing in peer mentoring, but you can't promise her, to keep quiet about things, because if she needs help, which I can't handle on my own, I need to tell somebody older than me that knows more, like a teacher.
It's good to know that you've got an older person who you can talk to, who can do something about it.
I think most of the things that she tells me I can handle, and I can give her advice without having to go to anyone else to help her, because I think I know what the problems that she has. I think I know how to help her with them.
Sometimes when I'm just waiting for my friends, these older people are just standing there looking at me, so I look at them and they're always saying stuff about me.
So do they swear?
Yeah.
They swear at you? Do they push you? Have they ever been violent towards you?
No.
So do you think you need help talking to someone about you being bullied?
Yeah.
Out of the one-to-one pairings that I have, I think by far the greatest benefit is to the mentee. For them, it helps them through what is, I think, the hardest part of their young life, and that is transfer to high school. I think the first 8 to 10 weeks for some children is make or break, and I think if we are able to make an effect then, if we are able to allow them to feel as though they are safe, secure and looked after, because ultimately sometimes that is all that matters to some of these children, that we will have made a difference.
How do you think you can open up more?
Talk to people more and louder and that, and talk about my feelings.
Talk about your feelings. So do you have enough friends in school?
Yeah.
It's vital for any kind of mentoring programme, and besides peer mentoring, to have monitoring and evaluation methods in place. And what we advise schools to do is monitor and evaluate 3 times a year to review the progress of the one-to-one meetings, and also to evaluate the actual project as a whole. Not always just concentrating on questionnaires, but more on the harder outcomes. So you're looking at attainment, attendance figures, the progress reports, and the general academic performance within school. The results obtained from the peer mentoring can be seen very early on. From my experience, I've seen pupils with no friends or have got low confidence and self-esteem, and they've been given a peer mentor, and then 3 weeks down the line, their confidence has increased, they have loads of friends, the impacts can be seen very, very rapidly. Collecting the actual factual data, whether that's questionnaires or hard evidence like attendance certificates and reports, that will take that little bit longer.
So far, I've only measured the impact from, sort of watching and tracking and observing the very different relationships that have been sort of formed in a very short space of time. Formally, that is going to be done via written reviews and via sort of interview-style reviews. They are going to take place at probably Christmas, and then again Easter, and then in July. I think that's probably the easiest way of gauging how much of an impact, and how much of an impact in terms of reducing bullying, in terms of increasing confidence in young people who, in essence, go through quite a traumatic time in their life.
First of all, she was really, really quiet, and I was begging her. I begged her to talk. I begged her, please, can you talk? Please, can you talk? But she did find it difficult opening up. I had to joke with her. I had to say, do you want me to go on my knees?
When I first met my mentor, I felt a little bit shy, because if I meet new people, I feel dead shy because I don't really know him and I don't know about him. I'm warming up to her now because I've been talking to her quite a lot now, so I feel like I know her really much.
I've tried, and I'm still trying, to be a friend and a mentor. A mentor, you can tell me something that is going on with you, and I won't laugh at you. I won't go tell my other friends that this is what my mentee is going through, or this is what Liana is going through. I'll just keep it to myself.
I can talk to her about like bullying and that, and like other stuff what I've kept inside, and like what I want to be when I grow up and that, and I can get everything out.
You have to learn how to listen, and you have to learn how to communicate with your mentee to know what your mentee is really going through, or what your mentee is thinking, or your mentee wants to do.
It's very early days for us with peer mentoring, and it is difficult at this stage to really say how effective its impact has been. All we can do is actually make judgments about how those children who are in the peer mentoring programme, the mentees, are actually settling in. And as part of that settling in process, we do a lot of evaluation with parents and with the girls themselves, and those indicators seem to be very positive. The parents like it. They actually can see that it's helping their child, and we're beginning to see the flowering, if you like, of the self-esteem and confidence, and the beginning of the settling in and bedding in of friendships in secondary school, which are going to last for a few years.
I've changed quite a lot because I'm growing a little bit confidence now, because I've got a mentor and quite a lot of friends, so I can talk to him about stuff. So I'm growing quite confident.